The Valley of Echoing Whispers. After their journey through the island of shifting sands, Tobian and Nivara found themselves standing on the edge of a new, mysterious valley. The landscape before them was unlike anything they had encountered before. Towering cliffs rose on either side, their surfaces covered in strange, luminescent symbols that seemed to pulse with an eerie, otherworldly energy. The air was thick with a sense of anticipation, as if the valley itself was alive, waiting for them to take the first step. "This place feels different," Tobian observed, his voice low as he gazed at the glowing cliffs. "It's as if the very air is filled with whispers." Nivara, still in her desert form, stepped forward, the sands around her feet swirling gently. "This valley is ancient. I can feel the echoes of countless voices, all speaking at once. It's like the very rocks hold memories of the past." As she spoke, the echoes around them seemed to grow louder, filling the air with a cacophony of voices. Tobian could hear fragments of conversations, whispers of ancient spells, and even the distant sound of laughter. It was disorienting, but also strangely captivating. "I think it's time for another change," Nivara said, closing her eyes as she reached out to the energy of the valley. The golden hues of her desert form began to fade, replaced by deep, shadowy tones. Her hair darkened to a rich, obsidian black, with strands of silver running through it like veins of precious metal. Her eyes became a deep, glowing blue, like the depths of a midnight sky. Her skin took on a pale, almost translucent hue, and her robe transformed into a flowing, ethereal gown that shimmered like the surface of a still, dark lake. Nivara had become the spirit of echoing whispers. Tobian watched in awe as she completed her transformation. "You're attuned to the very essence of this valley now. I can feel the connection between you and this place." Nivara nodded, her voice now carrying a soft, resonant echo. "The valley is full of hidden secrets, buried deep within the echoes. We need to find the source of these whispers to uncover what lies hidden here." They began their journey deeper into the valley, the echoes growing louder with each step. The cliffs on either side seemed to close in, the symbols on their surfaces pulsing in rhythm with the whispers. It was as if the valley itself was trying to communicate with them, guiding them toward its hidden heart. As they walked, Tobian noticed something unusual. The echoes weren't just random sounds, they seemed to respond to their presence. When they paused, the whispers grew quieter, almost as if the valley was waiting for them to continue. When they moved forward, the whispers surged, filling the air with a sense of urgency. "I think the valley is leading us somewhere," Tobian said, his eyes scanning the cliffs for any signs of a path. "But we need to be careful. The whispers could easily lead us astray if we're not cautious." Nivara nodded, her glowing blue eyes focused on the path ahead. "We must listen carefully, distinguish between the true echoes and the ones meant to deceive us." After what felt like hours of walking, they reached a massive, circular chamber deep within the valley. The walls of the chamber were covered in the same luminescent symbols they had seen throughout the valley, but here they were more intricate, forming complex patterns that seemed to shift and change with each passing moment. In the center of the chamber stood a large, ancient stone altar, its surface covered in runes that glowed with a faint blue light. "This must be the heart of the valley," Tobian said, approaching the altar with caution. "The source of the whispers." Nivara stepped forward, her presence causing the whispers to quieten, as if the valley itself was acknowledging her. She placed her hands on the altar, and the runes began to glow brighter, filling the chamber with a soft, blue light. Suddenly, the whispers around them coalesced into a single, clear voice. "You have come far, travelers. The Valley of Echoing Whispers has tested many, but only those with true understanding can unlock its secrets. Tobian and Nivara exchanged a glance, recognizing the gravity of the moment. "We seek the knowledge hidden within this valley," Nivara said, her voice steady. "What must we do to prove ourselves worthy?" The voice echoed through the chamber, resonating with the very walls. "You must listen, truly listen, to the echoes of the past. Only by understanding the memories of those who came before can you unlock the knowledge that has been guarded here for centuries." Nivara closed her eyes, allowing herself to become fully attuned to the valley. She could hear the echoes more clearly now, each one a fragment of a story long forgotten. Tobian stood beside her, his sketchbook in hand, ready to capture whatever visions the valley revealed. As they listened, the chamber began to fill with images, projected onto the walls by the glowing runes. They saw visions of ancient civilizations that once thrived in the valley, their people harnessing the power of the echoes to perform incredible feats of magic. They witnessed the rise and fall of these civilizations, their knowledge slowly fading into the whispers that now filled the valley. "There's so much history here," Tobian whispered, his eyes wide as he sketched the scenes unfolding before them. "So much that has been lost to time." Nivara focused on a particular set of runes that seemed to pulse with a unique rhythm. "These runes, they're different from the others. I think they hold the key to unlocking the valley's deepest secret." As she concentrated, the runes began to glow brighter, their patterns shifting into a new configuration. The echoes around them intensified, merging into a single, harmonious note that filled the chamber with a sense of profound peace. "The valley's secret is not just knowledge," Nivara realized, her voice filled with wonder. "It's harmony. The ability to bring together the echoes of the past, present, and future into a single, unified whole." With this realization, the altar before them began to transform. The stone surface cracked open, revealing a hidden compartment within. Inside was a small, intricately crafted crystal that pulsed with the same blue light as the runes. It was the crystal of echoing whispers, an artifact that held the power to harmonize and amplify magical energies, drawing upon the wisdom of the ages. Tobian carefully took the crystal, marveling at its beauty. "This will be an incredible tool for our journey. With this, we can tap into the ancient knowledge of the valley and use it to guide us." As they left the chamber, the valley seemed to acknowledge their success, the echoes around them growing softer, almost reverent. The path back to the valley's entrance was clear now, the whispers guiding them safely out. Standing at the edge of the valley once more, Tobian and Nivara looked back at the towering cliffs, their symbols glowing softly in the fading light. "The Valley of Echoing Whispers will always be a part of us now," Nivara said, her voice tinged with both reverence and gratitude. "Its knowledge, its harmony, we'll carry it with us on our journey." Tobian nodded, placing the crystal of echoing whispers safely in his satchel. "And with it, we'll be able to face whatever challenges lie ahead, knowing we have the wisdom of the past to guide us." They turned away from the valley, ready to continue their journey into the unknown, the echoes of the past now a part of their future. The Island of Living Statues. After their adventure in the Valley of Echoing Whispers, Tobian and Nivara found themselves aboard a small, enchanted boat, sailing across a misty sea. The air was thick with mystery, and the horizon was hidden behind a veil of swirling fog. Their destination was an island that had only recently appeared on Tobian's ancient map, a place known as the Island of Living Statues. As they approached, the fog began to lift, revealing the island's silhouette against the twilight sky. It was a place of stark beauty, with towering cliffs of white marble and ancient ruins scattered across the landscape. But what immediately caught their attention were the statues, hundreds of them, dotting the island. Each one was incredibly lifelike, capturing figures in moments of action, emotion, and contemplation. "This place feels alive," Tobian remarked as they disembarked, his eyes scanning the statues. "It's as if the stone itself is imbued with life." Nivara, sensing the island's unique energy, stepped onto the shore. "These statues are more than just stone. They hold the essence of the people they represent, trapped in time." She took a deep breath, feeling the island's magic flow through her. "I need to attune myself to this place." Closing her eyes, Nivara began her transformation. The shadows around her deepened, and the light of the setting sun seemed to be absorbed into her form. Her hair became a rich, deep purple, with streaks of silver like veins of marble. Her eyes turned a piercing, crystalline white, glowing with an inner light. Her skin took on a smooth, stone-like texture, pale as alabaster, and her gown transformed into flowing robes that resembled carved marble, adorned with intricate patterns that shifted and changed like living art. Nivara had become the spirit of living stone. Tobian watched in awe as Nivara completed her transformation. "You've become one with the island's magic. I can feel the power radiating from you." Nivara nodded, her voice now carrying a resonant echo. "The statues here are connected to the island's heart. There's a deeper magic at work, one that we need to uncover." Together, they began exploring the island, moving among the statues. Each one was different: warriors frozen in battle, scholars deep in thought, children playing, and elders resting. The detail was astonishing, down to the texture of their clothing and the expressions on their faces. As they ventured deeper into the island, Tobian noticed something unusual. Some of the statues seemed to be watching them, their eyes following their movements. "Nivara, do you see that? The statues, they are aware of us." Nivara nodded, her white eyes gleaming. "The island's magic keeps them in a state of suspended animation. But they are still conscious, aware of their surroundings." They continued until they reached the center of the island, where a massive statue of a goddess stood, towering above the rest. The statue was holding a large, ornate key, which seemed to pulse with a soft, golden light. "This must be the key to unlocking the island's secrets," Tobian said, stepping forward. But as he reached out to touch the key, the ground beneath them trembled, and the statues around them began to stir. The once still figures now moved with a fluidity that was both graceful and unsettling. They turned to face Tobian and Nivara, their stone faces expressionless but their movements deliberate. "They're coming to life," Tobian exclaimed, drawing his staff. "But why now?" Nivara, attuned to the island's magic, focused on the goddess statue. "The key she holds, it's the source of their animation. It controls the island's magic. If we take it, the statues may return to their original state." But as she spoke, the goddess statue's eyes glowed with a fierce light, and the statues around them began to advance. "We need to reach the key before they overwhelm us," Tobian said, his voice tense. Nivara nodded, her stone-like form glowing with the island's energy. "I'll hold them off. You go for the key." With a graceful motion, Nivara raised her hands, and the ground beneath the advancing statues trembled. Vines of living stone erupted from the earth, wrapping around the statues' legs, slowing their advance. But the statues were strong, and they began breaking free of the vines with powerful, deliberate movements. Tobian dashed toward the goddess statue, weaving through the maze of living statues. The ground shook with each step, but he kept his focus on the key. As he reached the statue, he felt a surge of magic pulsing through the air. He reached out, his fingers brushing the cool stone of the key. The moment he touched it, the statues froze in place, their movements halted as if time had stopped. The goddess statue's eyes dimmed, and the golden light around the key faded. Nivara approached, her form still resonating with the island's magic. "You've done it, Tobian. The key has subdued the island's magic." Tobian carefully removed the key from the statue's hand, feeling its weight in his palm. "This key is more than just a symbol. It's a conduit for the island's magic, a way to control the life force within these stones." As they stood together, the island seemed to settle, the air growing calm. The statues, though still, now radiated a peaceful energy, as if they were finally at rest. "This island holds so many mysteries," Nivara said, her voice filled with reverence. "We've only just begun to uncover them." Tobian nodded, placing the key safely in his satchel. "We'll return one day to learn more. But for now, we have what we came for." They made their way back to their boat, the island now quiet and still behind them. As they sailed away, the mist began to close in, and the island of living statues faded from view, leaving them with the promise of new adventures yet to come. The Frozen Spire. After their mysterious encounter on the island of living statues, Tobian and Nivara set their sights on the northern reaches of the Enchanted Isles, where a rumor of a towering spire made entirely of ice and crystal had piqued their interest. This spire was said to contain ancient secrets locked within its frozen heart, guarded by powerful elemental forces. As they journeyed northward, the climate grew colder, and the landscape transformed from lush forests to frozen tundra. The sky was a deep, icy blue, with snowflakes gently falling, shimmering like tiny diamonds in the sunlight. In the distance, the frozen spire stood tall, piercing the sky like a glistening needle of ice. Nivara could feel the chill in the air, and she knew it was time to change once again. She stepped off the enchanted boat onto the icy ground and closed her eyes, allowing the magic of the land to flow through her. Her transformation began almost immediately. Her hair turned a stunning shade of icy blue, sparkling with frost. Her skin took on a pale, almost translucent quality, as if she were made of the finest ice. Her eyes became a piercing, crystalline blue, radiating a cold yet mesmerizing light. Her gown transformed into a flowing robe of pure white, adorned with delicate patterns that resembled snowflakes and icicles. Nivara had become the spirit of the frozen spire. Tobian watched in awe, as he always did when Nivara embraced a new form. "You've become one with the ice and snow, Nivara. I can feel the power of the frozen spire within you." Nivara nodded, her voice soft and echoing like the wind across a frozen landscape. "The magic here is ancient and powerful, Tobian. We must tread carefully." Together, they began their ascent toward the spire. The path was treacherous, with the ground covered in ice and snow, but Nivara's new form allowed her to glide effortless across the frozen surface. Tobian, with his enchanted boots, followed closely behind, his eyes scanning the landscape for any signs of danger. As they approached the base of the spire, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight. The spire was not just a solid mass of ice but was instead made up of intricate layers of crystal and ice, each one catching the light and reflecting it in dazzling patterns. The entire structure seemed to hum with magical energy, resonating with the cold power of the north. Tobian placed his hand against the spire, feeling the vibrations coursing through it. "This place is alive with magic. It's almost as if the spire is a living being." Nivara nodded, her crystalline eyes focused on the towering structure. "The spire holds ancient magic, but it's also a guardian of secrets long forgotten. We must find a way inside." As they searched for an entrance, they noticed strange markings carved into the ice, runes that glowed faintly with a cold, blue light. Tobian recognized them as ancient symbols of protection and binding, meant to keep something sealed within. "These runes are powerful," Tobian said, tracing them with his fingers. "We need to unlock them if we're to gain access to the spire's heart." Nivara stepped forward, her hand glowing with icy energy. "Let me try." She placed her hand against the runes, and a surge of cold energy flowed from her into the spire. The runes responded, glowing brighter as they began to shift and change. The ice around them cracked and shifted, creating an opening just wide enough for them to enter. With a deep breath, they stepped inside. The interior of the spire was even more magnificent than the exterior. The walls were lined with shimmering ice crystals, and the air was filled with the sound of soft, echoing whispers, as if the spire itself was speaking to them. At the center of the chamber, they found a massive, frozen altar, atop which lay a crystal sphere glowing with a soft, blue light. This sphere was the heart of the frozen spire, the source of its power. Tobian approached the altar, his breath visible in the cold air. "This is it, Nivara. The heart of the spire. But why was it sealed away?" Nivara's eyes narrowed as she studied the sphere. "I can feel the presence of an ancient guardian, a being of pure ice and magic, bound to protect the secrets of this place. We must be careful." No sooner had she spoken than the chamber began to tremble. From the shadows of the spire, a figure emerged, a towering guardian made entirely of ice, with piercing blue eyes that glowed with ancient power. It moved with a grace and speed that belied its massive form, and it was clear that it would not allow them to take the heart without a fight. Tobian readied his staff, and Nivara summoned the icy magic within her, preparing for the battle ahead. The guardian advanced, its icy form radiating cold so intense that the air around it crackled and froze. With a powerful incantation, Tobian sent a bolt of fiery magic toward the guardian, but the creature absorbed it, growing stronger from the heat. "Fire only makes it stronger," Tobian warned. Nivara, attuned to the icy magic of the spire, focused her energy on the guardian, attempting to weaken it with her own cold power. The guardian slowed, its movements becoming more sluggish, but it was still powerful and determined to protect the heart. Realizing that they needed to outmaneuver the guardian rather than overpower it, Tobian called out, "Nivara, distract it. I'll go for the heart." Nivara nodded and unleashed a flurry of icy blasts, each one striking the guardian and drawing its attention away from Tobian. The guardian turned to face her, its movements slow but menacing. With the guardian distracted, Tobian made his way to the altar. He could feel the immense power radiating from the crystal sphere, and he knew that this was the key to controlling the spire's magic. Carefully, he placed his hands on the sphere, feeling the cold energy flow through him. He closed his eyes and focused, trying to connect with the ancient magic within. The guardian, sensing the threat, turned back toward Tobian, but Nivara stood in its path. With a powerful surge of magic, she created a barrier of ice, holding the guardian at bay just long enough for Tobian to complete the ritual. The chamber filled with a brilliant light as the heart of the spire resonated with Tobian's magic. The guardian let out a roar, but it was too late. The heart had been unlocked, and its power was now under Tobian and Nivara's control. The guardian, its purpose fulfilled, began to dissolve into the very ice from which it was formed, leaving behind a calm and peaceful chamber. Tobian and Nivara stood together, the crystal sphere now glowing with a gentle, blue light. "We've done it," Tobian said, his voice filled with awe. "The spire's magic is now ours." Nivara smiled, her crystalline form shimmering in the light. The spire was testing us, ensuring that we were worthy of its power. We passed the test. With the heart of the frozen spire in their possession, they made their way back to the entrance. As they stepped outside, the sky above was clear and bright, the sun reflecting off the spire's crystalline surface, creating a stunning display of light. Their journey was far from over, but with each adventure, they grew stronger, their bond deepening as they faced new challenges together. As they sailed away from the frozen spire, Nivara looked back at the towering structure, her icy form slowly returning to its original state. "Where do we go next, Tobian?" Tobian smiled, the heart of the spire safely tucked away in his satchel. "Wherever the winds take us, my love. The world is full of magic, and I'm certain our next adventure is just over the horizon." And so, they sailed on, ready for whatever new mysteries awaited them.